Everyone has their place in Foxhole and a role to play. Imagine you log on to go and gather salvage. You have planned out your whole night and came up with a plan on how you are going to help your teammates and help win this war. You are gathering the salvage and loading your truck. Once your truck is full, you head to the refinery to convert the salvage into basic materials. You hear a call from the other room and your gameplay session is already over. You decide to submit your salvage to the public. You think to yourself that you didn't accomplish anything or contribute anything to your team in that play session, but that is where you are wrong. A fellow player has found the basic materials that you put into public storage and has decided to use them. The salvage that you gathered and left in the public supplies has now been used and refined into basic materials, and the player has used these basic materials to make a logistics truck. This truck was then used to gather ammo, guns, and medical supplies from a seaport to take to the front. Because you took time to gather the salvage to bring it to the refinery, this frontline bunker has now been supplied with the resources it needs to survive the oncoming assault. All because you only had 15 or 30 minutes to play. Everything you do in Foxhole matters.
All right, so what I love about Logi is honestly the camaraderie that it requires. The fact that you can do it alone, but the more people you get, the cooler it gets, because you just see all these parts moving. And then eventually you get up to the trains, which are my personal favorite, because just operating a train is awesome with your group of friends.
Not all of your basic materials were used. Another player came along and took some of the salvage you gathered and turned it into basic materials again to build containers. These containers were filled up with more supplies and loaded into the freighter to send to the midline, and then once again would be supplied to the front. Everything you do in Foxhole matters.
What I love about Logi is how casual it can be to how important it straight up is. So you can be in the back lines and then you go to your forward depot to deliver critical supplies, and then you just head straight to the back line and you just chill. That's what I love about Logi.
The last of your salvage still remains. The salvage gets picked up by a builder who takes your salvage and turns it into basic materials once again. They take it to the front and build up defenses that are needed to hold back the enemy force. The builder uses the salvage that you gathered to make this defensive structure, which in turn helps your team hold the position even longer. Everything you do in Foxhole matters.
What I love about Logi is the ability to make decisions that actually impact the battlefield. If I decide to bring like a bunch of Boma stones, I can impact how the trench fight goes. If I bring BMATs, I know I can save the front from being shelled or help players build defenses. If you're just a frontline grunt and you have a rifle or grenades or whatever, and you spend an hour and you kill 50 wardens, I can do what you just did in 5 minutes by bringing a truck of shirts. It feels good to matter in Foxhole, and logistics lets you do that.
You are able to log on once again. You notice in chat that an artillery crew needs more shells. You are able to find a flatbed that someone else made in the seaport, and you are able to find a pallet of shells that someone else made, and you start your journey towards the front. You deliver the shells and place them next to the artillery crew. You once again hear a call from the other room and you must log off. What you didn't get to see after you left was the last pallet you delivered was the pallet that was needed to take down the base and push your allies forward. Everything you do in Foxhole matters.
What I love about Logi is the pain. Just spreading it. I hate doing the combat myself, but producing tens of thousands of artillery rounds, hundreds of tanks, tens of thousands of soldier supplies and grenades and everything else needed, and just spreading the pain to as many people as possible. Spreading just all over the place, seeing dozens of artillery guns firing continuously. God, it feels good.
You log on again, frustrated that nothing has been accomplished. You decide to go to the front. You want to find purpose and you want to do something that will make a difference. You build and the defenses are continuing to fall after you build them. You feel defeated as though you didn't stop the enemy at all. You once more log off feeling unaccomplished. But the front you were building those defenses on was able to hold on long enough for reinforcement tanks to arrive to push your front line forward and to secure your position. Everything you do in Foxhole matters.
What I love most about Logi is it gives you the opportunity to provide effectively the toys that the players play with. You know, you get to supply the forward bunker bases, you give them the weapons that they shoot with, the grenades that they get to throw. You know, you're kind of just there to enable all of the things to happen within the game.
Your efforts in Foxhole will go unnoticed. You will craft basic materials, crates of important supplies, and deliver these items where they need to be. And after you are done with all that, it will seem like you did nothing, but that's where you are wrong. You did do something. You just can't see it. Other games normally give you some kind of positive reinforcement that you've done something right, and you receive this type of instant gratification feeling. Or games will make a sound like leveling up to give you some dopamine hit. Foxhole does not do that. New players in Foxhole normally feel like what they are doing in the game has no effect on the war at all, but I'm here to tell you it does.
What I love about Logi is the cooperation needed to make an effective system. Like, at the same time, Foxhole is also a game that promotes people to do singular Logi. Like, if you're just somebody who wants to spend a couple of minutes helping out the team effort, do this, farm salvage.
Content creator taking all
You
my
want to
spam
help out
content.
the whole of the war. You can join a regiment and do big systems, run trains, flatbeds, cargo freighters full of material. It's a wonderful system where it promotes and rewards both solo and teamwork.
All of these busy ants on the map are contributing to something much larger than themselves. New players will quit the game because they don't get that instant dopamine hit. Players that stick around in Foxhole start to learn how to have intrinsic motivation. You know what you are doing matters, and you don't need some reward or specific outcome to happen once the task is complete.
The thing I like about Logi is it's sort of a step back from all the chaos that is frontline fighting. So I'm a bit of a frontline fighter, and I like to do Logi. And when I'm sort of in the back lines, organizing facilities, prepping materials, putting it in containers, it's a lot more quiet, it's a lot more controlled. And then once I get to the front, deploy all my goods, and then, you know, everyone have a machine gun, you sort of go into that abruptness of fighting. So logistics is a lot more quiet, it's a lot more focused, you're kind of left to do your own thing. And then frontline, it's all chaos and grenades going off everywhere. And I think the balance that Foxhole has makes logistics very, very enjoyable.
I believe it's important to tell yourself that everything you are doing is contributing to the war and is having some positive outcome. If you get the mindset that what you are doing is a waste of time, you will end up hating logistics and most likely end up hating Foxhole. One tip I always give to new players is to find a hex or a lane on the map and stay and only play in those areas for the entire war. You will get familiar with the area, see the same regular players, and you will have more of a reason to protect it and more of a reason to want to keep it alive. Overall, you will feel more of an ownership over the area and feel like you are making a difference.
What I like the most is that you can basically predict and calculate how many stuff you can make, how much effort you need to invest into doing stuff. You want to make, I don't know, enough materials for one day. You're gonna spend, I don't know, 2 days working, and you're gonna make enough materials for that. But if you just want to take it casually and do some, I don't know, along the way, whatever you do, you can do that as well. There is no, let's call it, there is no pressure of being necessary to do it all the time, every day.
Even just making public basic materials is a great help. If you are someone that only has time to get salvage and you start making public basic materials and then log off, you are still helping the war effort. You have just helped builders, Logi players, and the front if they need to repair their tanks. I am always so happy as a Logi player to log into a backline hex and find 5,000 plus basic materials waiting for me to be used at the refinery. You have just saved me a ton of time and I can get to crafting supplies right away and get them delivered to the front.
What I love about Logi is that even as a single player, you can have a huge impact on a front. It's a really nice satisfaction when you deliver supplies that a front is lacking, and then seeing the impact on the map, just watching the map and how you retake ground that you're lost, or even push and take more ground than you had before.
As you may have noticed from some of my previous Foxhole videos, I tend to jump around and do a variety of different tasks on the front line. I always think to myself, what can I be doing that would be the most useful? That's why you see me building 1 minute and then playing medic or going back to do Logi the next. Sometimes I'm just the guy loading the shells for the artillery group, which is needed to make a difference. I know some players can be overwhelmed with what they need to do or not know what to do because the game gives them no direction. But I promise you, someone always needs help with something, and there's always some way you can be making a positive impact impact in Foxhole. There are a lot of impactful things you can do, but it won't always be clear what is the most efficient thing to be doing. Remember to go with what sounds fun and you won't burn out from playing Foxhole. The most important thing you can do is have fun. This is just a game. If you like gathering, then go gather. If you like delivering supplies, then do that. If you just like doing combat, go for it. If you get bored, try out a new role. Just make sure you are having fun with what you do. Even in a losing war, it could be the shirt that you made or the rifle that you made that turned the tide of the battle. You may not see the fruits of your labor in Foxhole, but trust me, they are happening. And that's the most beautiful thing about this MMO war simulator that is going on 24/7. Something you may have done when you were logged in may not become valuable until you log off. Lots of gamers these days want that instant gratification. And again, that is not what Foxhole is about. You won't be able to change the outcome of the war by yourself, but you can still have a lasting impact on the entire war even by submitting a truckload of salvage for the public use. I believe anyone can find their place in Foxhole. Everyone has a role to play. Everybody matters.
What I love about Logi is that you can see your tools that you made impact on the front, and it may change the course of the battle that's going.
What I love about Logi is knowing that we're feeding the front and helping them push on their operation. Done.
If you need help finding purpose in Foxhole, feel free to DM me in Discord. I'd be happy to help. Link to my Discord is in the description below. Shout out to WLL Winter Legion Logistics for helping me with this video. WLL is a great logistics clan that is mainly colonial but go warden from time to time. If you want to join an extremely experienced, friendly, and chill logistics group, I would recommend joining WLL. I've linked their Discord in the description below. Tell them I sent you. If you're a Logi main in Foxhole, let me know what you love about logistics. Vet players, how do you find purpose in what you do? How do you stay motivated to complete a task in Foxhole? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Foxhole content. Remember, even the littlest of tasks can make a difference. Cheers.